Good evening. Welcome to Hell of a Show, and we'll be getting going on this shortly with this. Let me know first and foremost, can you see and hear me okay? And we'll go ahead and start moving along. Let's get this shared out, get as many people involved as possible. Y'all already know pretty much who is on here tonight, so let's get this shared out, get a lot of people in here and see what's going on. We've got a lot of information to cover and a lot of fun to be had, I'm sure, as well. But we've already got a few people in here. We've got Larry is first and foremost in here. Larry, appreciate you being here. Hope you're feeling better, buddy. And we've got Eve in here. That intro sequence is way too big. It's not unscripted. I can't come with the comeback on that one that I want to. But thank you. I'll be working on that. And of course, that one is for my baby. Go ahead and give that to her. So as long as everyone can see and hear me in here, and we're getting some shares out there, we will get going on this. Hope everyone has had a great day, been as productive as they possibly can. And as you'll notice right off the bat, I am not showing off the bald head tonight. It is cold down here, so I am keeping this thing covered. And we will be moving along from there. We've got quite a few people showing up in here. So let's go ahead and make this official. Eve, I know. Eve, we're going to have to get you back on the show. It has been way too long. I think you're jonesing a little bit too much over there. But I appreciate you being here, too. So, before we get started into this, go ahead and start off with the sponsors, because I am happy to have them working with me on all of this. So, we'll start off with Luis Torres has got Nebula Pearl that he is working on a mind meld project with several people on there. And right now they're sitting at just a little over $10,000, 164 backers, 29 days to go. They're on an upswing on this, which is doing great. So if you haven't looked into that one, go look over there and see what's going on. And definitely support that. Next up, we have CB Zane. CB Zane has got Into the Suck Book 6. It is the final chapter in the Into the Suck series, sitting at a little over 13,000 on there, 274 backers, again on the upswing with that. Go support that one and see what's going on there as well. Now, speaking of sucking, we have got Jim Noble. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's just, I shouldn't have done that. We have got Totally Rad Comics, Jim Noble. He should be in here shortly. I'm just waiting for him to show up. He doesn't have anything on the books right now as far as Kickstarter, but if you go to totallyradcomics.com/big cartel, then you can find his stuff on there, and he has got some Valentine's covers that you don't want to miss because, well, if you know anything about Totally Rad Comics, they're not your normal Valentine's covers, so you want to go take a look at that. And then finally, we have got Wendy Steen Shaner. Wendy Steen Shaner has got Naughty Fairies. Right now, she doesn't have anything going. She finished up with a rather large campaign just a couple of weeks ago, and she's still working on doing the fulfillment on that. So we're waiting to see what she's going to have coming up next, but something tells me she'll have quite a bit. She is part of the mind meld on Nebula Pearl. So one more sponsor that I've got on here, and I saved him for last because it is the Legend of Oz, Wicked West presents The Age of Ozma, which is Tom Hutchison, and he is our guest tonight, so let's go ahead and bring him on up here. What's up, Tom?
Hey, back again.
There you go. I figured you didn't need too much of a thing on there because you've been here how many times now? I forget. How many times is it?
I'm officially like the Super Bowl now. I'm only rolling in numerals. I am X1. This is X1 tonight.
Exactly. So, you know, for those of y'all paying attention, Jim Noble, he has been here 11 times now on Hell of a Show, so that's some catching up that's got to be done on there. Now, normally this is the part of the show where I look over and say, if nobody knows who you are, go ahead and tell them who you are. We're not even going into that. I'm sorry. If you don't know who Tom is, you're not looking close enough or turning on a computer or just living right now. It's just not an option. And Eve said Tom is the bench warmer of the Demon Phil show. More than you know, Eve. Yes, more than you know.
I'm here even when I'm not here.
Exactly. Tom messages me and he's like, so who do you have on the show tonight? Do you have anybody? It's kind of like, come on, I can get on there if you need me. Put me in, coach. I
think that's how it's it's the Wolf of Wall Street. It's those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers up.
Larry is asking, who is the guy with the cat ears? Larry, you already know.
Oh, that's Anubis.
Oh, that's Anubis. Okay, there you go. Yeah, Anubis is kind of like the unspoken mascot at times on the doghouse, at least.
That's right. And we'll be getting back to the doghouse shows this Wednesday on the Comic Book Shopping Network. So for those that are part of the Comic Book Shopping Network, we'll be back. If you're not part of the Comic Book Shopping Network on Facebook, join the group. And we do a live sales show every Wednesday, or roughly every Wednesday night, 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern time, and we have a good time. So yeah, that's one of the biggest things that I've been doing over the past 2 years. Even prior to COVID, I had started my journey into online live nonsense back in the day. So it's been great for us, and we missed last week because I was traveling, but I'm now back in Michigan, so we'll be back and set up for a show on Wednesday.
Cool. Definitely looking forward to that. And another thing with your shows too, just kind of a quick thing on there. It's not a requirement to go in there and spend a ton of money. You can go in there and have a lot of fun with everybody that's in there, and that's the main thing. It's like a family, well, a very dysfunctional family that gets put together in there, and we have a blast. So come in and have some fun with us.
Yeah, just come in, chat, see what's going on. If there's something you want, call it out. If there's nothing that you want, then just come, hang out with us. It's all good.
And I can already tell who our problem child is going to be tonight, and I thought it was going to be someone else. But yeah, Eve is already on here. Comics? Sorry, Millennial here. Yeah. Millennial. I don't have enough of a time in the show to go into all that. Now, speaking of comics, you've got something going on right now on your campaign with the Legend of Oz, and right now you are currently sitting at just over 27,533 backers and 24 hours to go. So you've got, officially 24 hours to go to finish this thing up. 533. You were trying to hit that 500 so that you could open up the final piece in that puzzle. So my question is, what happens whenever you hit 600? Because you're kind of on the upswing again.
600 that's going to be a stretch. That's another 67 backers. It's not impossible, but it's unlikely to do that in essentially right now. It's 11 o'clock Eastern time, so it is essentially 24 hours from now. We will be done. So another 67 backers would be a bit of a stretch. So what's up, Mr. Fought? But yeah, no, we've been surging. Really the entire campaign, we've really gone up every day. There's been a couple of days that were, kind of slow days, but for the most part, it's been really consistent. And then just in the past couple of days, boom, pop. And that's normal for Kickstarter campaigns in a lot of cases. It's the final days is, when people with Kickstarters, you can sort through everything in different manners. You can do it by popularity. You can do it what's new. You can do what's ending. So a lot of people will check out what's ending because they want to see what maybe they haven't found yet just before it closes out. And so it's normal for Kickstarters to start to see surges in the last couple of days because people are like, oh, I only got like 2 days left to get this. And then they dive in. And that's what's been happening with us.
Yeah. And another thing too, is you're notorious for, adding on things all the way up to the last part of the campaign. So by the time you look at it, you're like, okay, I'm going to go with this. No, I'm going to change it to this. No, I'm going to add this one on. Oh, now I got to change this and add this on now too. So it kind of goes back and forth. So a lot of people are kind of waiting. They could be waiting for that to do their last minute add-ons because they don't know what all you've got planned out.
Yeah, to some degree. Normally by now we have it pretty much done. In this campaign, because we did the bonus add-on stuff, for the backer add-ons, there was a little bit more than normal. Normally we have like a one add-on every week or so as we kind of go through the campaign, just kind of keep momentum up. But when I added on the bonus, the backer add-ons, that has now added 5 extra books to the campaign. foil covers, ruby covers, sapphire covers, and so on. They will be limited to order. So if you guys are interested in that stuff, they will be limited to order. So if we get orders for 17, we're making 17. Well, I mean, we'll make a little bit more just in case there's damages in the mail or whatever. But basically, if there's like 17, we're probably going to make like 22 of these books. And that will be the extent of all of that. So yeah, don't miss out on anything that you want. There's a couple of books that are actually close to selling out. Brian Peterson's Country Girl is almost sold out, and Shannon Mayer's East Meets West is also almost sold out. So just on those, you know, grab them before they're gone. And then there's the stuff that is limited to the campaign. So you know, just be aware of that.
Now, speaking of, we're talking about the campaign and everything. For those that are out there that they may have gotten some stuff just because they like the artwork on there, they like the way the storyline, you know, looks on there and what they've seen on the campaign, give us your pitch on exactly what is Legend of Oz, since this is kind of going into more, is this closing out the arc, or how is this going?
No, this is the start of a new arc. It is in the grand scheme of everything. It is issue 21 of the ongoing series, but it's the start of a new story arc. So this will be technically the start of volume 5, essentially. Or no, sorry, the start of volume 6. So it's a Western reimagining of the Wizard of Oz. So instead of ruby slippers, Dorothy's got ruby spurs, ruby bullets, Toto's her horse. You know, in our case, we've taken the Oz characters and reimagined them for a Western style world story and so on. And this is, well, you know, we've been talking about the 10-year anniversary of Big Dog Inc. last year. This is the 10-year anniversary of The Legend of Oz. This is the third series that we launched for Big Dog Inc. And it did launch at the very end of 2011. So it is the 10-year anniversary for The Legend of Oz. So, you know, we have another 10-year anniversary to celebrate this year. So it was kind of like, yeah, obviously we're going to come in and, you know, celebrate it properly and there'll be 3 campaigns this year. There will be the equivalent of 5 issues within that campaign. This first issue is 20 pages. The next 2 campaigns will each be 40 pages. So by the time we're done this fall, you will have gotten essentially 5 issues worth of content.
Very cool. And for anyone who is not caught up on Legend of Oz, you do have a catch-up tier on there as well, correct?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. It's very easy to get caught up either digitally if you're just a digital buyer, or if you want to get all the trade paperbacks, that's available too. Very easy, yeah.
There you go. So I mean, there's no reason that you can't get into this and at least fully enjoy, you know, what all's being offered on here, because it's not just, you know, you start off here and you can't get caught up at all, or you start off here and you have no idea what's going on. At least you can figure out some things that are on there.
Sure. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of variant covers, amazing artists. There's some of the stuff that we did with Aspen is available there. So yeah, it's a pretty big, wide open selection of stuff. And you know, if you have any interest in, you know, Westerns or steampunk or magic or any of that kind of stuff, this will fit right into the wheelhouse.
Absolutely. And as with the other titles with BDI has, I mean, there's nothing that I've read so far that doesn't grab your attention just from the get-go. I mean, it's not something that you have to go, let me get about 5 books in, then maybe I'll start liking it. It grabs your attention from the get-go, and that's all there is to it. It's one of those things, I don't know how to explain it. My favorite so far with BDI, of course, is Antoinette. But right along with that is, of course, Penny for Your Soul, Legend of Oz. I keep reading into these going, I got to stop reading so much into these because now I'm getting more and more favorites. It's like BDI is my favorite now.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's the whole point of doing all this stuff is, you know, if I mean, we don't have conventions right now, but even when people just come to your website, your web store or whatever, and they're like, okay, what's here? I do so many different genres and different types of stories. And there's so much different artistic style as well for like the variants and so on, that there's going to be easily something for anyone that decides they want to come check out Big Dog Inc. stuff.
And there's so much that you have on there. And then you've also written for some other publications that are out there as well. A few, small things like small stories or whatever. So you're kind of branching out that way, but you still keep coming back and having enough content to keep going with this. I mean, Critter is going into issue 22, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So there's still
in March
coming out there. Exactly. I mean,
none of these books are anywhere near a finale. So, I have, like I've talked about this before, these books have endings for the most part, but, we've only scratched the surface in most cases. So, don't take that to be like, oh my God, it's going to be like 500 issues like the X-Men. No, nothing's going to be like that. But, we have plans for these things. And even within those plans, as we go through, and we're like with Penny for Your Soul, we're like, yeah, we know we want to do these 7 volumes. Each one is one of the signs of the apocalypse. But as we go, we're also, expanding outwards, and we did like the Joan of Arc story, and we did like a Mary Magdalene story, and they kind of run parallel and intertwine with the main story. So you get kind of an expanded look while there is this like thread of we're going here and we're going here, and that's the end. We will be, adding stuff as we go to kind of fill out the story and the characters and so on. So that's sort of the plan.
And in going with that, I mean, you're pretty much locked in for what all you're producing for this year, correct?
Oh yeah. We know exactly what this year is. We know most of what next year is too.
Yeah, and see, that's pretty cool, because it's not just your normal, like, for those that don't know with BDI, it's not your normal just Kickstarter, do something different, you'll see them again in 3 months type scenario. You have certain, this is the day of lingerie or something like that, National Lingerie Day or something. And you've done a cover for that, which is interesting because it's something that no one else has done, and it gives you a landmark. You put that on there, and that's yours. You just put a footprint there that you took that day, and now that's a BDI day, not just a national day. It's a BDI day.
Yeah, and we're doing that again this year. We've got plans already laid out for some of those days. Some of them will be similar to last year. Others will be completely different. We always kind of want to do things that people aren't ready for or aren't expecting, I guess I should say, because that just makes it more fun. And in some cases, some of our days are going to expand beyond just, hey, we did a new cover. So, just there's a little spoiler alert for you. There's more than just covers coming your way this time for some of these days as well. But yeah, we've already got some of these days. Things are already done. And one of the ones we started with this year was Catter Day. We were doing Catter Day all year last year, just making posts like, hey, here's some Critter art and here's some cosplay cat girls and so on for Catter Day. But we actually turned that into an official thing this year. So we've done 2 Catter Days so far in January and February. So the first Saturday of every month is what we're calling the official Catter Day. And there will be a reprint of a Critter issue throughout the year. So we've done issue 1, we've done issue 2. These are books that have never been reprinted before outside of just trade paperbacks. And they've got new cover art, of course. It's just to kind of help people get into Critter. We're going to be doing 2 campaigns with Critter this year. We'll be doing 2 campaigns with Critter next year, which will lead us up to issue 25, which has been where all of this story has been leading to kind of these big revelations and a big sort of status quo change as of issue 25. So I'm really excited to get to it finally and kind of push this story forward.
Yeah, there's, like you said, there's a lot that you've got, on the books to do and all. And one thing that I remember, as far as a book that you put out as a commemorative edition, not necessarily for a national holiday, but for a 25th anniversary, was for Showgirls. And it was interesting because it wasn't, like you said, a cover book. It was actually, it had pinups inside that were, covers for, that would be homages to Showgirls.
Yeah, the whole thing was new art. It wasn't, a lot of times you get these pinup books and it's just like, well, we're just going to, reprint this stuff. We did a completely brand new cover to cover Showgirls tribute. It wasn't our 25th anniversary. It was Showgirls' 25th anniversary. Just coincided with our 10th. And I was like, well, let's just do something fun. And so we had 20 new pieces of art produced, plus a cover. And so 21 pieces of art, and it was awesome. And we have another plan for something similar this year.
Very cool. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And it's funny because we, the fans, are really starting to go through and looking at movies and going, hey, this one's up for, a 20th anniversary or 25th or whatever. And I've seen some that are thrown out there and I'm going, y'all are just really reaching on this now, but it's fun.
One piece of art for it is already finished. Justin Hunt has already done his. I've got feelers out to some other folks. It's not going to be till late in the year again, like it was last year, but we're already working on it, so it's already underway. It should be interesting.
And before I forget, you just mentioned Justin Hunt, so I just want to say it is Pork Chop's birthday today. So if you have not wished him a happy birthday, Justin Hunt, go over there and slap some disturbing memes. I mean, some birthday memes all over his page, and just let him know that we love him and want to wish him a happy birthday.
Disturbing birthday memes.
Have fun with it. Absolutely. Now, you've got Legend of Oz that's going on right now, of course, and you're in your last 24 hours on this.
Yep.
What's your next project that's coming up after this one is over with?
Critter will be in March, and then we will be back to Oz in April. And then we'll be taking the summer away from our primary books to do our crossover project with Totally Rad. And then we'll be back in, I think it's October, for the finale of this Legend of Oz 10-year anniversary.
Nice.
That's the general basic thing. And then in between all of that will be all of our little bonuses and fun surprises and stuff that we have planned.
Now, you brought up about the Camp Rad Dog or whatever we're going with on the camp, piece that you're going to be doing and all. I've got to ask, and I'm going to have fun asking this question, because I haven't seen you work with too many people on this level of doing something like this. Like you worked on the Plan 59 from Outer Space, that kind of thing. But working with Jim Noble on a project like this, how do you come about putting something like together? I mean, how did y'all, mind meld that together and go, we're doing this. This is becoming a project.
The same way he's doing a stupid toaster book. Just chat, and it's like, oh yeah, that's funny. Oh yeah, that's funny. And then you say it enough times, and you're like, yeah, that's cool. Why don't we figure out how to do this and what makes sense, and how to market it and how to do something more with it than just be like, oh, here's a book. Like what does it mean? What is it going to be? How's it going to work? And it's taken us a while to kind of put all these Tetris pieces together, but it's pretty much in place now. We have logos done. We have some art coming out that's going to be some promotional art and so on. We have some behind the scenes things that are happening that David Fought's working on with us on. And probably in the next 2 weeks or so, we should have the whole thing kind of official. And then we can come out to the public and be like, okay, this is what it is. This is how it's going to work. This is why it's going to be fun. And hopefully people agree.
Well, it's already going to be fun because it's supposed to, from what I'm understanding, it's supposed to be your company versus Totally Rad's company, in comic form scenario. So that's fun. I
mean, yes and no. Yes and no. It's evolved as we've talked, and we've decided kind of what makes sense from a Kickstarter standpoint, crowdfunding standpoint, crossover standpoint. Like, you kind of have to make these things really simple and easy to understand, so that when people come in, they're like, oh, okay, I get it. Click, I want that. Click, I want that. And so I think we've really kind of streamlined the process to make it very simple and very easy to understand. And there'll be stuff going on throughout the campaign, not just like the book itself and covers and so on, but actual, like, hey, you can do something, and for doing that, you're going to get a bonus thing, and so on and so on. So yeah. It'll be cool. It'll be cool.
It'll be totally rad. We'll put it that way. You got to throw that out there, because I know if he were here right now, he'd be putting that in the comments. But it seems like it's fun, and it seems like, because you two are working on it from different angles but putting it together, it just seems interesting that way. It's a mind meld without melding completely. I don't know how to explain it. It's odd how I'm seeing it happening with that.
Well, you shouldn't be seeing any of it happen. I mean, that's if you're seeing any of this happen, then something's wrong with.
Trust me, I'm not seeing anything. Jim won't even send me anything. He's like, "Yeah, Tom told me not to send you." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I already know the game."
That's like my influence right there. It's like anytime I work with somebody else, they're like, Tom won't let me show anything, and I'm like, yeah, we'll do this. Dominoes, man, you got to push over the dominoes at the right time.
I get the whole, man, I wish I could show you this because it's really cool, and I wish I could talk to you. I'm like, then stop telling me about it. Stop wishing.
I'll say this, that if you're a Patreon member, you have seen some of this because we have shown you some of this. Yes. Again, when I posted the first thing on Patreon, it was literally like the only thing we had. So it's not like they're even really in the dark. It's just we don't have anything to show yet. Everything has been conceptual up until the last few weeks. So, but yeah, if you join the Big Dogging Patreon, you will get advance notice on all of these things as we do them, as far as logos, as far as character designs, the stories and events, and what day are we doing this? What day are we doing that? Plus, if you're part of Patreon for a 6-month period, you get bonus free comics. Everybody just got their second half of 2020 freebie recently. So, we do that too.
There's a lot of fun to be had in following and going through all of this. And there's a lot of different titles. And like you said, 10-year anniversaries, left and right on this. Like we got Legend of Oz. Is Penny for Your Soul, when is that one 10-year anniversary, or is that
was last year?
That was last year. Okay.
Yeah, Critter and Penny were the books that we started with, so they were both 10-year anniversaries last year. Yeah. Okay. We did the hardcover 10-year anniversary trade paperback for Critter last year, and then the Penny 10-year celebration was the combo with Showgirls. So
that's right.
And then this year it's Oz, and we're just going big on Oz, so we can get an entire story arc out within the context, within the confines of 3 campaigns.
Nice, very nice. Now, also, just to go ahead and mention some other things that you're working on, you've got, and I'm going to give you a shout out on this one. You've got the movie they talk about the movies on Sundays. So,
yeah.
In doing that, I mean, that started out as just a group of friends talking and just, BSing with each other and laughing about things. All of a sudden,
that's still all it is. That's still all it is. There's no context to anything. There's no format to anything. But yeah, no, it's we're doing somehow episode 9 on Sunday. I don't know what's going on. I just say, do you want to do this? And they're like, yeah, okay, then we do it. So yeah, there's no rhyme or reason, but it's called Those Movie Guys. It was a Halloween chit chat because we were all bored, and all the people that were watching were like, "Oh, when are you doing another one?" And I was like, "Never." Like there's no plans for anything, but we turned it into a thing, and in the days of COVID and all this kind of stuff when we can't really get together. I mean, none of us live near each other anyway, so it's not like we could go get pizza and talk movies, but we can't even do that at cons and get together. So it's just kind of a cool thing to just kind of have an opportunity to just talk to somebody about stuff, nerd stuff. And then there happens to be an audience with it. It's like, okay, bring your questions, tell us that we're right or wrong about, why this one's better than that one or whatever. And it's just fun nerd stuff. But yeah, we do that. We try to do that every Sunday at 10 Eastern. We skipped last week because of the Super Bowl and some other stuff, or we skipped yesterday, I should say, the Super Bowl and so on. But yeah, we'll be back on this coming Sunday, and we have decided to dive into the realm of time travel movies. So that should be pretty interesting. We're all going to have our top 5 lists. I think mine is going to be really weird. It's not going to make any sense to anyone what my list is, but that makes my list the best.
There you go. And
listen, I don't bring basic lists to things. I don't play this basic bitch thing like Mr. Jim Noble. Oh, hey Jim, what's going on? Oh, hi. I didn't see you there.
No, not at all. Now, I do know that you don't play the basics because you had a thing going for a while last year where it was the like you were putting movies head to head, and you were like, okay, tell me which one's the best. And I made the mistake on the first one. I said, this one's the best. That's all there is to it. Mic drop. And I just left it. And did you ever scoop that up and tell me what was for on that? And at first I thought, man, he's just in a bad mood today or something. I don't know what's going on. And then I started looking at it and I was like, oh, you're trying to get the conversation going. You don't want to just go up here and go put a check mark on it and say, here's a poll. What do you think is the best? You actually wanted to get some information.
Here's the thing. Most of the time when people like something, and this is what drives me crazy, and it's sort of this hype driven thing that's in movies now. It's like, oh, you're supposed to like this thing, right? And you can, and it's fine, but I want to know why. And usually the response to, well, why do you like that one is, well, that was awesome. And I'm like, no, that's a stupid answer. Stop telling me it was awesome. I want to know why it was awesome. Like, what is it that spoke to you in this movie? Because whatever the answer is, it's fine. But I genuinely want to know. I mean, that's what conversation, that's what debate is. That's what conversation about movies is. That's what I like this and I like that. That's what lists are for. I want to know what it was that connected you to that. Because on the flip side of that, everybody else is like, oh, Tom doesn't like anything. I'm like, that's horseshit. Every time I post that I like something, nobody ever comments on it. The only time I ever hear from anybody is when I say, well, that was shit. And then everybody comes out like, oh, you're crazy. You don't like anything. I'm like, no, here's like a PowerPoint why this was shit. And then here's everybody else on the other side going, well, no, it was awesome. That's a stupid answer. Tell me why it was awesome. Change my mind. But no one ever wants to do that. So that's one of the things that's great about the Movie Guys thing is that me and Jim and David, like, we'll rag on each other. We'll be like, dude, your list is lame. But we all three of us know that it's like we're just jiving on each other. We're not like mocking anybody. We're just having a good time, and we can joke at each other, and that's the best sort of group that you can be a part of, when you can kind of rag on each other and everybody just laughs because we know it's not personal attack. We're not trying to offend anyone or anything. We're not trying to tell you you're wrong. We're going to tell you you're wrong, but it's okay that you're wrong. That kind of thing. And so it's just have fun with it. It's movies, it's comics, it's TV. It doesn't mean anything. It's just there as entertainment. So discuss it. Tell me what you liked. Tell me what you didn't like. All of it's fair game. I just want to know, like, okay, you chose, I don't know, whatever. You chose the Indiana, or you chose Raiders of the Lost Ark over the Cannonball Run, right? In a nerd war. I'm not saying you did. I'm just pulling I'm just pulling 1981 movies out of my ass, whatever it was. So tell me why. Because to be honest, as I'm thinking about those two movies right now, if I had to watch one or the other for the rest of my life and never the other one, it would probably be Cannonball Run. So that's like I said, I don't come with basic lists. I like to really kind of mash it up. Now, sometimes it's fun when we do those things because you can really, like, for example, The Howling and American Werewolf in London, they actually came out in the same year, which is kind of boggles my mind. Like, two of the greatest werewolf movies of all time came out in the same year. That's really weird. But it's fun to like compare and contrast those two. And we actually did a werewolf show on the Movie Guys. I think it was like our second episode. And we were really going deep on some of that stuff, which was fun. So, that's what it's for. It's something to talk about. Don't take it personally. Cause it's just opinion and personal taste. And just have fun with it, man.
So now that I've got you a little fired up on talking,
rant over.
I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start up something else because I have been dying to bring this up because I love it whenever you post this on everything. The hashtag is on so much. I even put it on tonight's. Comics are dead. So apparently, comics are dead because of the whole 2020 and all that kind of stuff. And, it'll never.
Oh, no, comics have been dying for 30 years. 30 years they've been dying, man. So,
I mean, they're definitely, but then you'll do a picture that goes along with the post saying comics are dead. And it's usually half a living room full of boxes that are going out to the post office. So
right.
Apparently, it's dying a lot faster.
Yeah, I mean, comics technically are dead because they were once living trees and they're now dead. Shaved up skin of trees. So technically they're dead. But yeah, no, everybody who plays the comics are dead game. I mean, that's a 30-year-old game, man. I mean, we're done with that. We're done with that. Comics aren't dying. Comics aren't dead. They are modifying. They are changing what they are, why they are, where they are. But like I literally last night, I was on with Larry last night, and we were talking about somebody did an article or a podcast or something about how Kickstarter is already suffering financial falls. The bubble. Mm-hmm. People like talk about the bubble. They don't know what the bubble even means. That the bubble's already popping for campaigns because last year, campaigns didn't get as high as they were. And I'm like, well, number one, you realize there was a global pandemic, right? I mean, right? Then you do know that there were an average of over 300 campaigns active at any one time for the course of about 8 months last year.
Exactly.
Which is 100 campaigns more than is the normal average. So you had a very congested marketplace. However, about 95% of those campaigns were all funding. Now, that doesn't mean they were all making 20 or 30 grand. Some of them only needed $500, $1,000, whatever. But those are all campaigns that, weren't high profile, but they were still funding at a very, very high percentage rate, which means that there were a lot of eyeballs on Kickstarter last year finding all of these little weird projects. And then I quoted, and I'm not going to be able to have the quote because I don't have it in front of me, but I quoted a piece that talked about in 2019, Kickstarter, just in comics, this is not anything else, not movies, TV, not music, just in comics, $16.9 million was generated in 2019. In 2020, that number jumped to $20 million. That's not comics dying.
Yeah.
That's comics finding a new audience and a new market and a new way of doing things. And that's significant, large scale growth. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, we could do 2021 and we could see a fall off. Nothing ever rises forever. But as we are right now, there is nothing to tell me that Kickstarter is slowing down, that Indiegogo is slowing down, that comics are slowing down. It's all just modifying and finding new ways of doing things because the old model just is old. It's decrepit. It's a boomer system, man. There you go. That's for you, Eve. It's a boomer system. And it's got a lot of problems and no one knows how to fix it. No one really wants to fix it. And so comic book creators, specifically indie guys, are finding ways to continue to make comics, to continue to stay viable in a marketplace that basically has all but rejected them. But somehow on Indiegogo, Kickstarter, and things like that, Comic Cons even as alternate sources of sales and marketing, somehow it's all working. End rant. Number two.
No,
it's two rants.
Oh, yeah, exactly. No, we're not even. And I'm going to tell you right now, no one asked anything in the audience about Godzilla and Kong. Sorry, we don't have time for that thing. I'm telling you right now, don't even go there.
Listen. Who among you has needlepoint Godzilla? Okay. All right. If you want to go, we can go. But I've got needlepoint Godzilla in my house. So,
And it's funny because you put a post up just recently saying that you can't stand whenever someone will come at you, with the whole Godzilla thing or whatever, and just look at you like they know they're right or whatever, but they have no facts on it. And then you have to go ahead and jump up and say, This is actually how it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know everything. I know guys that dwarf me in Godzilla knowledge. I mean, I bow to them. And I love those guys. I love talking with them because when I talk to them, I listen and I learn a lot from them. But from a general sense, I have seen these movies more than you have. Again, to the general populace. Same thing with Force Awakens. I've seen it more times than you. I'll beat you down. I'll beat you down. It's fine, but I'll beat you down.
Technically, that would be 2 rants involved in one conversation.
That's correct. That's correct.
And Star Wars.
That's
so
right.
we're hurting all kinds.
No, it's but again, it's we live in this world where everybody hears a rumor or like a piece of a fact of some kind, and they just run with it without really kind of figuring it out. And then they're like, oh, this, and this. And I'm like, no. I had one guy try and tell me that Godzilla's roar was created by a squeaky gate. And I just had to look at him like, are you that stupid? I mean, are you really that stupid that you even think that that's real? Come on, man.
So where do you want to go with BDI? I mean, what's the ceiling that you're looking for on all this? Because you've got so much that keeps you so busy, and like you said, you're already all the way throughout the end of the year and going into next year. You've already got it planned out. What's the ceiling that you're trying to reach for?
There's no ceiling. I just try and do a little bit better each time we do something. I mean, right now the key for the last couple of years has been trying to build infrastructure so that we can make everything move faster, more efficiently, take things off of my plate so that I can focus on creative, because I don't need to be doing shipping and all this kind of stuff, because if I'm doing that, I'm not writing, I'm not doing the things that only I can do. So last year, the plan was to really start building that, but then COVID happened and everything just went, just collapsed. And so we kind of took a step back last year, which I was not happy with. But it is what it is. We had artists get sick. We had artists getting COVID. We had printers have to slow down because they're the only ones that are still open. They're working on skeleton crews. So everything just kind of went, and I had to deal with that. So this year we're really trying to keep everything on pace and out on time. So like for Oz, we end this campaign tomorrow. The book is almost finished. It should be finished like in the next maybe 2 weeks, maybe towards the end of February, which means we send it to print early March, which means we get the books kind of towards the end of March and we start shipping early April, which is when we launch the next book, which is 100% the system. We want to be shipping the book right before or right as the new book is going to Kickstarter. And so right now, all of the dominoes are there for that to happen. I'm going to really try and push it out to try and get it fast, like towards the end of March. But again, I don't know what my printer situation is and so on, but we should be shipping it in April, which is our scheduled ship time. And we should be on pace and on schedule for everything that we do this year. Because part of the infrastructure that I wanted to build is pretty much in place as far as like the fulfillment side of it. So again, that takes it off of my plate. It lets them focus on that, get it done quickly. I can keep writing and doing the things that I need to do, and everything starts to move. All the gears start to move properly versus, oh crap, we busted another gear. We have to fix this again. So we're in really good shape right now as we start 2021. We're in really great shape with all of these projects to make sure that they are out on time. And that's the primary goal for 2021 is I want these things to be on time, because once we have achieved that, then we can make the next steps and be like, okay, how do we make it a little bit faster and a little bit faster, and so on and so on and so on.
And that makes complete sense with that, because you got so much going on. And that brings up another question that I have is with Comic Unity Online Comic-Con, it went over so well. It was you, CB, and Wendy all working together on this thing to make it bigger than Wendy's was whenever she first did it, even pre-COVID stuff, which was amazing that she had actually did that. And you three expanded the idea and came up with something amazing off of this, and a lot of things that are involved. So the question is, are we going to see that kind of con again from the three of you?
Possibly. I don't think you're going to see it this year just because of scheduling conflicts. It's just not going to work out. I won't say 100% no, but I don't think so. Now, if Wendy and two other people wanted to do it or whatever, and they want to go and do it and use the name, that's fine. I mean, I have no problem with anyone wanting to do that. But I know that CB and I, we have a fall project set up for September-ish, which is the Critter and Into the Suck crossover. So that's kind of our fall, and then that leads into my final Oz project in October. So I'm not going to have that opportunity to do Comic Unity. But if Wendy or anybody else wanted to team up with her and do it, that's certainly an option for them.
And you mentioning about your project with CB, that would be the Cat Girl from Mars, correct?
Yep. Yeah. CB and I have been talking about this for a long time. I don't know. Really don't know how it came up. But again, just like we said at the beginning, it's like chit chat. Oh, that's funny. Oh, yeah. That makes sense now. Now we know how to do it. And then suddenly it's like, oh, okay, now we're really going to do it. And so he announced it on his Into the Suck campaign, which is still live, by the way. You can get the last issue of his series. Plus, the unlocked stretch goal that he debuted is a mini print with Ursula and Cat Girl of Mars, basically the Critter equivalent of this universe. And that will be not an ongoing series. That'll be a one-shot issue that we'll be doing. That is, it's Space Girls, it's Cat Girls. It's going to be fun, and we'll be doing that this fall.
And definitely looking forward to that. It looks like it's going to be fun with that. And that's something that you had actually discussed about. Like you said, you've mentioned about it in the past, and people kind of conversed about it and kind of kicking it around. And all of a sudden you bring it up that it's actually going to happen. And you see these people going, what is that? I've never heard of that before. And I love your post. You're like, you should have been listening. You need to listen to these things.
You gotta be listening. Well, what's really funny is the thing with me and Jim. I mean, everyone should know what this is already, at least from a general sense. But then I get all these people that are coming in like, what is going on? I don't understand what I'm seeing. I'm just like, okay, well, then this will be a really fun surprise for you, because, the other 50% of people pretty much know exactly what this is. They might not know the format and how it's going to work, but they know what the concept is. So yeah, this is going to be fun when we get to announce it and actually put some art out, show the logos off, and kind of let you all know how this is going to work. And I think it's going to be a really fun thing. And I think it's something that could be looked at by other people and want to emulate, because it's imitatable. But I always like to try and do different things before other people do different things. So I dove in on this as soon as we kind of had like, okay. I really started trying to figure out how to make this make sense while still allowing each of the books and each of the characters, core characters, to kind of exist as they need to within their own context. So I think we figured out a good way to do it, and it should be fun.
Cool, very cool. And I put the links up here. Mike went ahead and Mike dropped these up here. So I want to go ahead and say real quick, Mike, glad that you're recovering. Hope you recover completely and get well soon, because we need you back in full swing. But appreciate you, Mike, dropping these in here.
Yeah, good to see you, Mike. Welcome back.
So you mentioned something about you may have a couple of things that you could possibly do as a giveaway tonight. If anybody likes that kind of stuff. I don't know if anybody likes that kind of stuff in here. But if you wanted to let us know what kind of trivia or what are we doing on that to get some goodies.
Yeah, we can do that. If anyone's interested in doing a little trivia for some swag, we can do that. We do have, if you want to show that image, you can show that image. We'll go ahead and give away, I don't know, 3 or 4 of these Legend of Oz pins with Natalie Sanders art on them. So if anyone hanging out in here is interested in showing off their trivia skills, let me know, and we'll figure this out as we go along. And you can be anywhere. You can be in YouTube. You can be on Facebook. Wherever you're at, doesn't matter. We'll just we'll figure out a way to do this if anyone would like to do a little trivia tonight.
There you go. And he'll start off somewhat gentle. Larry says, "Do it." And of course, Mike says, "Trish and I love free stuff." Oh yeah, I'm right along with you on that. And Eve says, "I'm terrible at trivia, but I'll try my hand." So I think we got a few people that are interested.
Yeah, we'll figure that out then. We'll get into that before we wrap up. Yeah.
We've got there's some pretty cool stuff coming out of BDI, and of course, like you said, get on the Comic Book Shopping Network.
Oh yeah,
there and get on the Wednesdays for the Doghouse. There is some amazing stuff that shows up on there, and we all love it and hate it at the same time whenever Tom is off screen going, "Wow, I don't remember this being in the box." And then he won't bring it out to show it or sell it or do anything because he's like, no, I can't do this. And we're going nuts in there. But that's part of the fun.
Well, yeah, I got to make sure that some of these boxes are just random. Like, hey, we just pulled this out of the warehouse. Okay, what's in it? I don't know. And so I got to make sure that some of this stuff, because I know there are pieces that do not exist in the archive, and we have to make sure that we have one of everything set aside. And then once we have that, then we can put out these these rare things that occasionally pop up. But yeah, every now and then there's definitely like, oh my God, I haven't seen this in a while. I need to make sure I have it.
Yeah, there's some amazing stuff on there that does come up, and Tom knows this. Out of the 4 medals that I have in my entire collection of comics, all 4 of them are BDIs. So I haven't gotten any other medals from anybody else as of yet. I know I'm supposed to be getting one from Jim. Will be another one that I'll have, so it'll be a totally rad one. But the 4 that I have from BDI are phenomenal, and you cannot see that on video. I'm just going to tell you right now.
No, you can't.
You can't show it off. There is no camera that'll show off what those things look like.
Yeah, in some cases that's like foils too. You like try and take pictures of it, and it just doesn't really do it justice because the lighting is, you have this crappy lighting and it just doesn't work. But when you have it in your hand, those foils in the metal covers are they're something. They are something for sure.
Absolutely.
And the medals on the campaign for Oz, and as we go forward, we're going to do the same way. We had been doing them, limiting them to 10 copies total, which really only meant that 8 went out to the market because 1 goes to the artist as a comp, and then we keep 1 for the archive. But what we decided to do, since I had so many people being like, "Oh my God, I missed it," we're making the medals now basically print to order. So if we get orders for 13. Then we're going to make 15 copies, 13 for the orders, and then 1 for the artist and 1, for the archive. So we are kind of opening that up a little bit to let you guys kind of decide how many there's going to be. I think that's a fair way to do it versus saying like, hey, we're making 40 of them, or whatever. When we do the metal stuff, we like to keep them as limited as possible, but we also want people to be able to, get them if they want them. So, the medals going forward now are all going to be print to order with a minimum of 10. So if we get orders for like 6, we're still going to make the 10. So, but yeah, if we get more than 10 orders, then we'll make the books, and that's how we'll do that.
Yeah, and they're phenomenal. So definitely get on the Doghouse on Wednesdays and see what's going on. But on top of that, get on the Patreon. It has got there are things that we get leaked sometimes within maybe a day or even hours of it being released on a public post or whatever, but we get it beforehand. And there's other times whenever we get it a lot sooner than it's being released. and we know a lot more information, which is very interesting.
Yeah, you know when it's coming, you know when to be ready for it. We do, and in fact, we're about to do this too because it's part of the Oz thing. You guys will get to vote on certain things as far as we do with characters and so on. So we actually have a new character in the Legend of Oz that debuts in this issue, and probably tomorrow I'll be posting up the image of the character like on the page that he comes in on. And we have 5 names that you guys can choose from, and you guys all get to pick this character's name. So that's another little bonus thing that we do as well. So, you get to actually take part in the creation side of things to some degree.
Nice, very nice. And I know the newest cover that you've opened up on there is the cosplay horizontal, correct?
Yep. That was unlocked. That was 500 backers. It unlocked the Emerald City. There's 5 lands of Oz. Well, there's more lands of Oz, but those are the 5 primary lands of Oz. Once you get past the Deadly Desert and so on, there's all kinds of stuff outside there. But we unlocked all 5 of the primary lands of Oz, and Victoria Page, who was, and I was trying to think about this, and I'm pretty sure this is the case. She was our first cosplayer, like just out of the blue. Somebody just showed up as one of our characters. And she was Dorothy. She did a little photo shoot. She was actually on a cover way back in the day. And she has appeared as Dorothy at cons since and so on. And so she did this in 20. Oh God, where are we? We're 2020. So this had to be 2016, maybe. She came to Emerald City with us with Aspen Comics, and she created this sort of barmaid version of Dorothy Gale's costume, which was then in turn sort of modified and used for Goth Day last year by David Faught. And then, so when I was trying to think about what we were going to do for add-ons and stuff for this campaign, I got a hold of her and I was like, so we have these barmaid pictures. What do you think about using one of these for a book? And she was like, yeah, do it. And so I worked with her and we kind of, picked a picture and got it set up, and it is now available. You can either add it to your existing campaign because it's an add-on, but it's also just its own reward. And you can just go in and buy that too. So I've had actually some people change their rewards from what they were buying originally to that. So clearly people are digging on it. And it's a great shot. And Victoria has been great. She's been a supporter of ours, almost from the start. Yeah, so that's the most recent. Well, it's the most recent and the final add-on for the campaign. There won't be. I mean, we only have 23 hours left, so it's not like suddenly we're going to be like flooding you with stuff to buy. But it's there is a bunch of stuff. Again, the foils, especially the retro foils, the sapphire, the ruby, the onyx, all of those are print to order. And so be sure that if you want them, that you grab them, because if we get orders for 12, we're making 12.
Yeah, I definitely got my stuff locked in, and yeah, you got me with the add-on with the cosplay one. I definitely had to get that one as well because it's something different that I don't see, and I know how it is. I know how it is whenever it comes on to the doghouse. If it is available for whatever reason, something shows up that there's one extra or whatever, Smithers will grab it.
Yeah, he has that tendency. He definitely has that tendency.
He is a great guy, but I don't know what kind of deal he made with what kind of interdimensional thing with his internet, but woof, he can grab it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a thing, but he also he's one of those guys that will not be afraid to grab a couple of extras and just have them in his back pocket. Because he's been a collector and he knows what happens with our books. Mm-hmm. You know, once they're kind of hit that sold out realm, and sometimes even before then, you know, it could even be a new book, but because our distribution is basically Kickstarter, web store, eBay, whatever, and it's not out to the general public, a lot of times people will get our books and just flip them really fast, and it'll immediately command extra money, which is kind of crazy. But when we do variants, there's like 200 of them, and there's not 2,000 of them. So they go quickly, they go into people's collections oftentimes, and they don't come out. And so when they do, and they get out into the general public, and they're like, "What is this? I've never even seen this before." The prices start bumping, and that's just that's just the market, man. It's supply and demand is ultimately what drives these prices. And if somebody buys a book for $20 from me on the Kickstarter and puts it on eBay, and it's the only one on eBay, and they get $50 for it, well, okay, good, good on you. And somebody was clearly happy that they got the book, and on and on and on. So it's it's the cycle of comic book life. You can't be worried about what someone else is getting on your book. Just, you made yours, you're moving on to the next one, and then the cycle and life of the book will take on its own, life as it moves through the secondary market, third market, and so on.
And I just want to go ahead and say real quick that in talking about, what happens on the Doghouse, and talking about, how Smithers comes in there and grabs it and all, it is not a cutthroat deal in there by any means. In fact, the camaraderie that is in there, Smithers has given me access to a book that he's claimed, and he's like, hey, you know what? Go ahead and give it to Phil. And, so on and so forth. There's other people that have done that as well. I've done it for other people as well, just because it's one of those things that you see them going, man, that's the last book that I needed to finish this, to be a completist on this, particular set or whatever. You know what? Help them out. And everybody does, and everybody's cool about it. So if you want to go in there and have some fun and just get to know some people and feel good about being in a group with some people, don't miss it out. I mean, it's free to go in there, have some fun. You find some stuff you want, you grab it. It's a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good crowd, and there's oftentimes good karma in there, like you're talking about. Like someone will get it, but someone else will want it, and they'll be like, "Oh no, let them have it." It's a good easy group of people. There's a core of, I don't know, a dozen to kind of 20 people that sort of are the regulars, and then there's another 20, 30 people that kind of pop in from time to time, and whenever they can. I realize I do my show kind of late, so not everybody can stay up late, but it's easy going. No one's there to rag on you. No one's there to do anything. Some people just go in and just chat about stuff. They're not even worried about comics. They're just talking about whatever they saw on TV or whatever. And that's fine. That's cool. It's a chat room. It just happens to have, like this happening, at the same time. And you can kind of get involved in one thing or the other thing, or both things or whatever. It's cool. It's no problem.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. And there's a lot of things that happen in there that it's things that can't be duplicated. We'll just go ahead and leave it at that. There are some things that have happened in there that I'm going, how did that just happen? Especially whenever you're like, okay, this is the only one that I've got of this particular cover, whatever kind of thing. Everybody's up there claiming all over the wall on this thing. And then you go and you find one, a little bit later on in the show. Rather than throwing it up there and doing it all over again, you go back on the list. You're like, okay, this is on pause now. And you go back through the list and you're like, okay, the second person that claimed this, if you want it, it's still yours if you want it. And that's cool that you do that, because you don't go out there just strictly for the money. You're out there to, like you said, it's a family event, basically.
Yeah. I mean, it's, we gotta sell the books. I mean, that's our goal, but we try and keep it, like orderly just to some degree. There's people that are just starting, that are trying to get books, and there's people that have been doing this for a long time that have them, or maybe that's the one they're missing. But most of the time we tend to have a few copies of things, but every now and then it's like, oh, I just have this one, dude, because again, it's just box of random, and here's the one thing. So what's up, Marissa? And so it is what it is. But it's fun. It's a good fun hangout. It's a chat room with a video entertainment that's going on. So, just come hang out. Don't worry about it. Don't get so hung up on what you think is supposed to happen. Just come in, watch it happen, dive in whenever you feel comfortable.
Exactly. And Chris said, what happens in the doghouse stays in the doghouse. It's not quite Fight Club.
No, you can always watch it back. But yeah. No, and then we do have the sister group is the Artist Alley Shopping Network. So if you join one, please join both, because the Artist Alley Shopping Network is on every night as well. There's usually at least 2 shows per day happening, either in the afternoon or the evening. Nia Ruffino, Steph Wilson, Justin Hunt, David Harrigan, oh my gosh, Chris Enott, Rob Hicks, Alfred Trujillo, all kinds of folks throughout the week. And they all come on, they draw, they sell their books, they sell their art. So it's a sister group to the Comic Shopping Network, but I'm kind of in charge of that as far as like who's doing shows and so on. So we've curated a pretty nice group of people. And it's been cool to watch it grow into something really awesome.
Definitely is. Now, do you want to go ahead and hit us with some trivia on this and see who can grab some goodies on this?
Sure.
This is what we're going.
I think the easiest thing to do would be to let them pick a topic of some kind, because we have a rather random group of people. So if you guys want to pick a topic that you're feeling good about, we can try and do that. We can talk comics, we can do movies, we can do BDI, whatever you're feeling like is good. Star Wars. See, even Eve goes right to Star Wars.
She sure did.
So basic, Eve. You're so basic.
And Trish is saying Godzilla trivia. She's got Mike, so there's 2 of them right there. I don't think you want to go Godzilla trivia with Tom, though.
Well, I mean, I can go really deep, or I can keep it very surface level. Yeah, but I mean, Star Wars is good. Star Wars is good because most people know Star Wars stuff. Watto trivia. Yeah. Watto. That's, oh my God. Okay. Let's see. So we could do episode 1. I don't know that we have a Watto question, but we could do episode 1. I wasn't prepared for Star Wars. That was kind of out of the blue. It shouldn't have been, but it is.
I can just see Eve over there with her hand over a buzzer, just ready to just pop.
Yeah, in. she's playing like the Jeopardy thing. Like, okay. Let's see here.
He took me seriously for Watto.
Well, okay. I'm going to give you a Watto trivia. So what? I guess you call it, what alien species is Watto? What is his species called? Easy. That's easy. That is like softball question. What is Watto's species name? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Just random. Yeah. Definitely random. That is incorrect. It's incorrect. Also incorrect.
Starting to see a pattern here.
I question whether she really knows Star Wars. Oh, Oh, you're right on the cusp, Eve. Right on the cusp. You got half of it right.
So the correct half is something. You just got to get the other
half. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is this is like when people are like, "Oh yeah, I know this stuff. I know this stuff," and then they start talking about it, and you're like, "You don't know what you're talking about." Because that's not even a deep question. That's a softball question. You're missing one letter. You're missing one letter in that word. One letter. I feel like Eve is going to get this. No one else knows this answer either. Larry doesn't know this answer. Come on. Come on now.
Larry got quiet. I didn't know he's still here.
That's it, Trish. That is correct. He is a Toydarian. He is a Toydarian. That is correct. Boom.
In there.
Trish gets herself a Legend of Oz pin
there you
for
go.
her troubles. Yes, that's it. Yes. Oh my God.
Now,
Yes.
do y'all actually want him to do Godzilla trivia for y'all?
Who knew that
Mike?
People wouldn't know what Watto is? You gotta. I mean, I don't know. It's only mentioned one time, but it's kind of an important scene because he tells Qui-Gon that Jedi mind tricks don't work on Toydarians. So it's an important moment in Star Wars history. This is serious canon happening right here.
She gave Eve a few tries, but stole it. He said she's hissing like King Cobra. Yeah. Too bad we can't have the other squares of the contestants up on here so we can at least see their faces as they're going through this.
All right, so we'll do another Star Wars question, and we'll make this one easy too. All right, what do the lightsabers? What is the power source for lightsabers?
Sunk in my hoodie. Well, yes.
Yes, that is correct, Eve. It is crystals, Mike, but it is Kyber crystals for Eve. Yes, that is correct, Eve. Well done. Oh, actually, you called them Kyber? No, Kyber. C-A-I. Yeah, close enough. Close enough. Close enough. Yes, it is Kyber crystals, Eve. That is correct. Oh, I got to write down who's winning these things.
Oh, here goes one of those lists.
Yeah, really official on the back of an envelope. Who got the first one? Oh, it was Trish, right?
Yes.
Trish got the Watto. Trish gets a pin, and Eve gets a pin. And I was going to see.
He was shooting guns up here like Yosemite Sam. All right. Looking up another good one.
Yeah, I wanted to get something specific here for Eve to see where she's really at.
Uh-oh. Mike said Jim Noble trivia for $1. Enslaved romantically to Watto. Still can't believe I got it wrong.
Oh, let's see here. It's harder when you try to get specific.
Jim's new love romance is with the Cupcake Lady for the win. That is correct. For those who don't understand this stuff, you got to watch Unscripted. Just going to throw that out there.
Yeah, the Cupcake Lady, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we heard all about her. All of these like websites that are like, hey, here's things you don't know about this. I'm like, no, I know all of this because I watched the movie. Like your website is pointless. Oh my gosh. Horrible. Horrible, 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 horrible things. Yeah, oven mitts too, right? Oven mitts too, yeah. All right, let's see if I can find this on my own here. We will do one more Star Wars trivia for you guys.
I tell you what, while he's looking up the trivia question for that, I've got something I want to throw out there. And
yeah, go for it.
Get this. Tom has a campaign going right now for Legend of Oz on Kickstarter. I want to see that posted up on Facebook and tag both me and Tom in it. First person to do it gets prize. Let's get that thing shared out and let people know what's going on with it.
Oh my God, here's a trivia site that has wrong answers. That's unbelievable. They're literally like, hey, these are really difficult questions. And I'm like, yeah, your answers are all wrong. So here it is. I'm going to give you a softball question again, because this site is wrong. We're going to use their question. How much money credits, whatever, does Han Solo want in return for taking Luke and Ben to Alderaan? How much money does Han want to take Luke and Ben to Alderaan in A New Hope?
Get that thing shared out and let people know what's going on with it.
That is your question. And I will tell you that it's a multiple choice question on this website, and all of the answers are wrong.
Please, not that.
10,000 is correct, Eve. 10,000 is correct.
And
10,000 all in advance. And Luke is like, 10,000? We can buy our own ship for that. Yeah, you could, kid. But who's going to fly it? Oh, I could fly it. I'm not such a... see, I'm giving you the whole movie here. This website, its answers are 17, 19, 16, 13, and 15. Now, how much money does he get? The answer is not 10,000. The answer is, in fact, what? What is the real answer? The real answer is 15. That's what he gets. That's what they bargain back for. But what Han asks for is 10,000. So, boo, website. Boo. You're terrible. You're terrible at this.
And Trish actually got the first post on Facebook to go ahead and post up the link for the campaign.
Posting links. We like links. Links are good. Links are good. We have 22 and a half hours left. So yeah, plenty of time to get involved. If we can get 64 backers, we would hit 600. That is a stretch, but it's not undoable.
No, not at all. Stranger things have happened. I mean,
oh sure,
that PVZ countdown that you had, that was amazing because $1 away with just seconds remaining. That was ugly.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of curious. I'm going to go back and look at it because Kickstarter has this great getaway. It has this great back end that shows you day by day how it all came out, which is great because it lets you really compare, like, where are you in compared to your other campaigns from a daily basis, which is awesome. 27, and we did on Princess versus Zombies, we had 69 backers on the last day. 69 backers on the last day. So, we only need 60. Well, I forgot what I said, 63 or 64. Yeah. 64. So we only need 64. So it is doable. It's going to definitely take a little bit of effort. So tomorrow we are going to be hanging around, watching the campaign, posting links out, showing you guys the stuff. We are also going to do a countdown show tomorrow. I've already talked to a few people that are involved in the campaign. They're going to jump on and talk with us, 2 artists, and we're actually going to have Victoria, our cosplayer. She's going to come on and chat with us for a bit. So yeah. Should be a good time. I don't know exactly when we're going to start, but it ends at 11 o'clock. Might have been 11:45, but sometime around 11, somewhere between 11 and 12 Eastern time. So we'll probably start sometime around maybe 9-ish, maybe 9 or 10. And yeah. We'll get that done. You're excited for PVZ. PVZ is done, Eve. That was last year. I don't know what PVZ you're looking for now.
That's what I was wondering.
Unless you're just looking for issue 2, which will happen. I just don't know exactly when yet. There's so much on the plate for this year. It's certainly not going to be this year, but it is potentially could happen next year. But yeah, let me know what you're talking about. If I'm forgetting something, let me know.
Yeah, Mike said he's excited for Tom to be home because he ordered PVZ and some Oz stuff before he left. He's been waiting.
Yeah. He put it in order for things that I only had here in Michigan. So, okay. Oh, issue 2. Eve wants issue 2. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, we're definitely excited for issue 2. That's for certain.
Okay.
And you did a post that you actually added another artist back to the fray for Critter 22, correct?
I haven't announced anything to Facebook yet. I did post something to Patreon today and there's actually a couple of Critter previews in the Patreon page. So yeah, and there's actually I think I've posted 3 now. There's a few more artists that we haven't even really announced that should be getting underway very soon. And so once all of that kind of comes through and well, really we have to finish Oz first, let Oz kind of settle down in the next couple of weeks, because it takes 2 weeks for Kickstarter to finalize a campaign, which is kind of irritating, but credit cards go bad and all kinds of things get weird. So they want to give everybody a chance to make sure they get their payments in so they get their books, which is fine. But it does take 2 weeks to finalize the campaign. So once that's done, then we'll start really kind of pushing Critter, because that'll be like middle. I think it's what was the date? Let me look at the calendar here. I think it's the 13th is what we're looking at for that launch. And when we do critters are generally just a couple week long campaigns. So we jump in, we show you some books, we jump out. And then we move back into Oz in April. So there's a whole lot going on. Well, Toast Day is not my day, Mike. That is not my day. We gave that one to Jim to monkey around with, and he's shown a little bit of preview stuff for that of late too. I think that's the last. Is it the last Thursday of the month?
It's the last Thursday. He will be my guest that night.
Yeah,
too.
Which would be the 25th is Toast Day. So everybody get ready for your toaster book, because that's legitimately happening. That's one of those things where it's like, hey, we're talking about this thing, and that's kind of funny, and oh yeah, and then suddenly he's going to go ahead and do it. I did actually throw him one the other day. We were on Unscripted a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about some of these days, and I jumped online and I was like, wait a minute, this might be a thing. And I went and looked it up, and it was. And so I told him, and he was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely doing that. So once that's announced, I'll let you know where that came from. I was a little surprised. I didn't think it was going to be real, but it was definitely real. So now apparently Jim's going to do something with it. Yeah,
exactly. I will go ahead and plug Unscripted real quick because, of course, Jim is on there, every time we have Unscripted, and now Tom is now a regular on there as well. So we're on there with Unscripted. You never know who else is going to be on there with us. You never know what's going to be said. And there are some very strange ideas that come out of this. And I think Toaster Day was one of those that came out of it.
Yeah.
It's and Mike wants to know if it was bra day or lack of bra day.
No, underwear day is like, when was underwear day? It was like August 5th or something. We did underwear day last year. That's so last year, Mike. So last year. Come on, man. Come on. We gotta level some things up here. Level up. Time to level up.
Well, Mike's still getting caught up on stuff, so he's got a whole year's worth of stuff he can get into now. Yeah, if you thought it was busy last year, you hadn't seen nothing yet. I mean, that was actually kind of a slow year.
Last year was really weird. Man, it was really weird. It was a weird mix of products because we had so many different titles we were trying to do. We had so many problems with just artists and printers and COVID, and last year was so weird. It was actually a good year for us overall, but it was such a weird, like, just start and stop and start and stop and start and stop. Oh my God. So, we kind of put everything into high gear towards the end of last year so that we can really try and make it all smooth in 2021 as best we can, at least from the Kickstarter standpoint from you guys, because without the support you guys have given us, this stuff doesn't exist. So for me, in my mind, it's like, okay, we have to focus on this. This is the key element that is missing right now is turnaround time and speed. And so all the artists know that we're like, hey, we got to go, get it done. And then on my side, it's like, get the scripts done and make sure that the printer's ready to go. And so I really, really appreciate everybody's support and patience with us as we've been going through all these growing pains. But it looks like, at least for the first quarter, maybe the first half of the year, everything is lined up to be dominoes, tip it over, go, which is exciting because that makes things so much easier, so much less stressful on everybody. And yeah.
Very cool. Now it looks like we picked up, since we've been on here, we picked up 2 backers on the campaign, which is nice. So appreciate if y'all are watching or in here. Thank y'all very much for doing so with that. And still sitting on 23 hours to go. Anything is possible. You never know.
I mean, Princesses versus Zombies proved that. I mean, we did almost 70 backers in the last 24 hours. So, anything's possible. Anything is possible. But again, we're not, that's not to say that we're sitting here going like, oh, hope we get more money. Like, we've done a great campaign. If we had ended today, I'd be like, hey, this is a successful campaign. So, anything that we do is just kind of icing on the cake now. And ultimately the goal is always more backers. Doesn't really matter what they're backing for. You come in for the $9 book, come in for the $20 book, whatever you want. it's just backers, because that means that people are finding the product. And we want them to find the book, read the book, enjoy the book, and come back for another book. So it's the dollar figure is far less important than the backer figure, which is why we wanted to do kind of some fun stuff with backer stretch goals, for however we want to call it, which we unlocked all 5, which is awesome. 500 backers. I think we've only done 500 backers 4 times now. Twice with Penny for Your Soul, once with Princesses versus Zombies, and now this. I believe this is our fourth 500 backer campaign. And if we should hit 600, that'll be our second 600 campaign. So everything is good. Everything is good right now. It's all moving wonderfully, and we appreciate all of the support. As always, I mean, you guys determine what comics get made, whether it's Kickstarter, whether it's in comic book stores, whatever. If you buy it, it keeps getting made. If you decide you don't want to buy it anymore, then it doesn't get made anymore. So, thank you guys for all the support and patience for all things Big Dog Inc., as we have essentially rebuilt ourselves in a completely new distribution method. That quite frankly, I was not prepared for when we dove in, because I had no idea what it was going to really take to do all of this. And we've kind of had to do, a lot of learning along the way.
And keep in mind, everyone that's on here, support doesn't always mean $ only. Even if you support with $, support by hitting the share button and getting it out there and letting everyone else know. Because the more that you put this out there, the more that it goes out to all these different areas and angles of everywhere, you're going to hit other people that are interested that have no idea what's going on with this. I don't know how they don't, but some people don't. So you just want to make sure you catch as many people as possible. And it's not always just the creator or the creative team who can put things out, because their circle is closed on who they can all talk to and see and everything. There's no telling how many more people you can actually get out there to if everybody starts sharing it out. So definitely support and share.
Yeah, just the way that social media works. That's it. I mean, it's the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon thing. It's 6 degrees of me, 6 degrees of Phil, 6 degrees of Eve, 6 degrees of whoever, and it can spread. That's the whole go viral thing. It can just spread. So shares, likes, comments, all of that keeps posts and social media moving, and continues to make it more and more visible, which is the key. Yeah,
exactly. And Mike puts this up here, and I want to go ahead and put this up before we shut it down tonight. I share all the Kickstarters I backed the day I came home from the hospital, so everyone can. And I know for a fact that Mike had just gotten out of the hospital and everything, and had put the post up that he was back. I think Trisha even put the post or whatever. And all of a sudden, I start seeing Mike sharing all of this stuff, and I'm like, "Holy crap! I mean, you're just now out of the hospital." That's amazing that you're doing that, though. So it is much appreciated within the industry. I know everyone that's creative team members and everything really appreciate it. But I'm going to tell you right now, that's big of you to do that, and we really do appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, Tom, I could keep you on here the whole time talking to you, but I definitely don't want to do a whole 6 a.m. thing, of staying online. That's never happened on any of my shows in the past. But if you want to go ahead and give them one last shout out on where they can find you online, so anybody that's following this later on, watching it or whatever, they can go ahead and get on board the BDI train with this too.
Yeah, just jump on Facebook. That's where I'm at. Or you can go on the Big Dog Facebook page. You can join that as well if you just want to, follow through there. Patreon, Big Dog Inc. It's patreon.com/Big Dog Inc. And then, of course, Twitter and Instagram is BDI Comics. That's how we do things. We focus kind of on Facebook. That's kind of our primary social media place. And then we do our own live shows like this, just kind of randomly whenever we feel like doing it. So, Facebook is the place to really kind of get in touch with us. But yeah, Instagram and Twitter, if you're more comfortable with that, BDI Comics, and And yeah, just keep your eyes open because there's a lot of stuff coming all throughout the year.
Very cool. Well, I appreciate you being on here for an 11th appearance on the show, and I know there's gonna be more in the future of you coming back up on here. Hopefully, Jim will be able to get a few under his belt this year. We'll see what we can do for him on that.
Well, we'll make sure we get him one when we do our thing in the summer. We'll get him on here one more time for the summertime.
There you go.
At least one more this year.
Just one more. Yeah, we can do that. I'm sure we can do that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for being on here. I'm going to go ahead and drop you backstage, do my closing statements, but we'll catch you on the end of this. But definitely get out there, everybody, and share his campaign.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you.
All right. Hey, we had a hell of a show on here, a hell of a guest. 11 times he has been here, which has been amazing. And I remember the first time that I had him on, I was actually scared to death having him on and had to do a ton of research to make sure I knew what I was talking about, because as we talked about tonight, he will remind you that, you need to do your research on some things, and not in a bad way. It's just, make sure that you know what's going on. Now, I always have a closing statement. Tonight's not going to be any different, and it's usually based on what I have on my show, and that is tonight as well. And it's fairly simple. It's don't always assume you are the smartest person in the room and act that way. Go ahead and open up. Start listening. Start learning. Start adapting. Start changing with the flow of the people around you. See how everyone else is reacting and kind of work towards that. And that's not just within this industry. That's within life in general. Don't think you're the biggest, baddest on the block, because there's always a bigger dog that's out there. So that one's for you, Tom. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone else, for being here. Y'all have been great tonight. I appreciate every one of y'all. I am doing my best to try to bring you as good a content as I can possibly handle out here. So if y'all can think of anything else that y'all want to have, or any other people that you want to have on here, shoot me messages. Let me know what's going on, and I'll try to bring them out. As of right now, I am completely booked until the end of the month, which is great. And then I will start opening up for March, looking for people on there. So that being said, you already know, one pebble in a pond, you get a ripple. You get enough pebbles out there, get the waves of change. So until next time, which will be this Thursday with CB Zane, talking about End of the Suck and his campaign he's got going right now. Keep it indie, y'all.